All right, what's up, guys? We're finally back again for episode 14, and I need some thumbs up if you guys can hear me. Some likes and some thumbs up. I need to know everybody can hear me good and see me good. So I went with a new setup, and we'll see how it works out. The banner's not up yet. I'll have it up for next week's show. But sorry, this is kind of a rush thing right now, but we're gonna make it work, and we're gonna have a good time. So. We got Cody coming on. Cody Yates is coming on, and Mr. Cooper Boy. We wanted to go back local. We want to support our local tracks, our local guys, and you know, show some love when we can. So we like to diversify who we're having on here and let everybody enjoy the show. We've got late model guys that have come on here. We've had Hermie Sadler was on here, and I think it's great to have some local guys who've been around some of the bigger teams and bigger shows like Cody, and then he's been around for a while racing. And Cooper, he's pretty new, but what's up, Tate? And I think it's good to have these two guys on here. I think it'll be a pretty good show. I'm really good friends with both of these guys, so nothing's off limits. By the way, Cody can hear me right now. Nothing's off limits. So we're gonna have a good time with this show. I'm gonna have a drink. Cody's gonna have a drink. Yes, margaritas, not a beer, but we're gonna have a good time with this show. So if you guys got any questions, and as always, Delaware Brick right here across the bottom of the screen, brought to you by Delaware Brick, the owner of the company, Sean, was kind enough to sponsor us. And but anyway, if you guys have any questions for these two or anything at all, go ahead and post them in the comments, and we'll see if we can get them up here. But without further ado, we're a few minutes behind, but I think it's good that way. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring Cody on here, get a little bit of a conversation in with him, cover the bases, and then we'll go a little bit in depth with him, see what he's got going on for the year, and see maybe if he's got any cool plans. So, Mr. Cody Yates. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man.
I had to get the little welcome thing on here. Oh, wrong arm. Had to get the little welcome thing on here for you, so everybody could see that. I'm trying to be fancy. So, anyway, starters. How long you been racing, man?
Since about the end of 2013.
2013.
Yeah.
And you started in Clone EL Champ, right?
I started in Clone EL's
Sprint. Okay, yeah. All right. So, what was it like for you in the transition from the EL tires to now they're back on Max's Pinks and Blues?
It was a big difference for me because I got racing 4 years, and that's all I ran was ELs, and then Blues. It was night and day.
Yeah, the ELs was a lot harder tire to prep from what I've heard. I always heard. I didn't really get to run them but once or twice. But I always heard it was a lot harder tire to prep because it would soak up so much more and it wouldn't do as much to the tire because it was about that much rubber on the tire next to something like that.
Yeah, it was.
So other than that, I know you went through the transition. I don't know if you ran the weenie pipe on the Clone.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you went from the weenie pipe to the big pipe Clone. And now you have been running the last, 2 seasons you've been running Predator Champ?
Yeah.
Okay, so with the Predator Champs coming around, was that a big, not like cha-ching, but like a big ding, this is a good idea because this lets guys like me come out and race every single weekend and not have to break the bank to do it?
It does. It allows you to have more guys who can't afford $1,500 clones. And, you don't have to rebuild. They don't have to rebuild up or give up.
Yeah, you just go buy another one. Or you can claim the guy in front of you still, right? Isn't the claimer rule still in effect?
Do that.
I didn't hear you.
I said, yeah, you can still do the claim rule.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you can. So you could do that if you really wanted to, but you might irritate a few people
Yeah,
in doing so. Yeah. So with I think when the weenie pipe clone was out, when it first came out, they had the claimer rule on that, and then when it went to the big pipe, they took it away. So what is having something like the claimer rule? Do you ever come off the track and you're worried about the guy behind you claiming your motor?
I mean, not really to me. I mean, if they want to buy it, out of box motor, you can buy it or if you want one.
Those things where you're going to Eddie Mishu or you're going to PMP or you're going to Richard Noblet and you're getting a motor built and you're like, I know this guy, he's giving me the best he's got. I'm opening up the box and I really don't know what I'm getting in this box. This thing could blow up in turn one.
Right.
So when you get your hands on a good one, like I know you've got a pretty decent one now that's won a couple races, but is it harder? Like for me, and maybe in my mind, it would be once you get a good motor, you don't want someone to claim it. You want to just kind of hold off and not let somebody get their hands on it because it's one of those motors that you don't know if you're going to get another one.
Yeah.
So you thought about the Predator running anything else, or have you thought about maybe just running Predator Sprint?
I mean, maybe. I mean, it really just depends on what they.
Would you want them to bring back the EL tire, or are you happy with the Maxxis Pinks and Blues?
EL tire, you could have the season, if not half the season. The pinks are good because you can buy so you get a tire cheaper and you get more tires in your garage to
Guys awesome offloading tires, and guys like him, I think, keep the local game going because people aren't buying new tires and send them Austin just for a night race sometimes, but I'm gonna do that if they're just running local. So it's good to have and he can tell you.
I can't hear you at all.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Said, doesn't it kind of make it easy? The tires.
Your it's all breaking up. I can't missing.
Okay, it's probably the service. It should come back in just a second. Hold on one moment. Let me see.
I got you now.
Going out. Okay. Um, you still didn't hear my question?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Does getting tires from somebody like Austin Wyatt, when you know it's already been done to them, do you think that's easier than actually having to take and prep them and do them yourself?
For some of the guys, I buy tires. It really helps to know like how old the tire stuff like that. It helps to know like how many but other than that, buy and pull offs from anybody. So the tire game you just gotta know how to prep them and stuff after that.
Yeah, and knowing the right guys is a big benefit, but you've got a lot of good people close to you that can help you out and watch out for you. So I think that's a good thing to have. And as far as the Predator class really growing exponentially, what do you think of the possibility of Predator Champ being in VDK next year?
I think it would be a good move for the VDKA because you're allowing the low budget guys and the Saturday come run the big leather jacket when normally on a Saturday night, right now, so a point series is nice for some of the guys.
Yeah, I definitely think that the way Capital City's doing it, I do the money series, the money every Saturday night. But there comes a point when you want to race for points. A lot of
Yeah,
guys do anyway. I mean, when you're running local, you expect to run for points. So it kind of changes the game. You think their class or Saturday nights for you guys at all?
I couldn't understand you. It broke up again.
Okay, I'm going to talk until you can hear me. So just tell me when you can hear me again.
I got you.
Okay. All right. Do you think that the money series, like the money classes on a Saturday night, has affected like the racing for you guys, the local guys?
I don't think so. I think it brought more to a Saturday night event, which is always good for the tracks and the local guys to race. Some people that are a lot better, and it makes us a better driver and stuff harder try to beat them.
Yeah, I think depending on the pro class, you'll see a class grow by 5 to 10 carts sometimes just because it's the pro class of the week,
Right.
or VDKs the next week, or such and such is coming up, depending on what it is, turkey trot, spring gobbler, depending on what it is. But I also think that the predator guys, it it's such a class, an economy class, that it's bringing in guys that are should not be in Predator at all. And I've said this before, and a lot of other guys have said this, that there's a lot of guys that shouldn't be running Predator that are running Predator, and it's just a big grab because they know that I mean, it's also what I talked about earlier. You don't know what kind of motor you're going to get, but some of those guys can go buy 5 or 6 motors and test them and say this one's the strongest, so I'm going to run this one.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you're running against stuff like that, does that kind of make you work a little harder in the shop each and every week to try and beat those guys?
I mean, for me, I want to work out whether I'm in the always want to get fast. When the come out, the guys who can't beat them normally want to work harder.
Yeah, I get that 100%. Now I want to backtrack a little bit. I asked you how long you've been racing. What got you started in racing?
Well, my dad and my uncle used to race outside in Capital back in the 90s. And I became friends with Michael Wegscheider, and he raced in Ryan, and I bought a $100 go kart in Ryan. I ran their backup motor, back tires, pretty much just anything I could to get out.
And when you're starting out, it's good to just have that seat time. And was that something that you noticed as you were going through, that the more seat time you got, just a little bit, you could tell the little bit of better, the little steps you were taking each time you were coming out?
Yeah, definitely, because a lot of people, if you're new in the race and you can spend money up front, you can spend all the money up front. If you don't spend all the money, you're not going to run up front.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. You can't take, I mean, there's guys that I have seen that come out in their second race, third race ever and can run up front for some reason.
Yeah.
That's just talent.
Yeah.
That's just talent. But there's also guys that have come out and have run 20 years and can't get out of their own way no matter what they do.
That's me half the time. So
No. Second, or you were running up front that one time I was helping you out on the track, so you can't say that.
I mean, yeah.
And you've been good. You've been getting steady. So, but also when you're running against those guys, you mentioned it earlier, it makes you a better driver. I remember running the Predator race my first time. I had been out of the seat for a while, so I said I'm going to run Predator, and I'm going to try it out just to see, what happens. I ran with like, McDaniel, and at the time I hadn't raced very much. I had some, but it had been about a year since I'd raced, and I jumped in the seat, and it was like an obstacle course.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that the Predator class has gotten exponentially better since then, because there's not one guy out there going like this, weaving and diving and dipping around and trying to dodge carts because he's 4/10 faster than the whole field.
Right.
Now it's you got 4, 5, 6 guys that are up front and competitive, and then you got your mid-tier guys, and then you got your backfield guys, and there's not that much space in between. It's a couple cart lengths in between each group of these guys. So I do see, for guys like you that have come along and come up in the Predator Champ, Predator Sprint, whatever Predator classes, it doesn't matter. I have seen the big difference that it has made on you and on guys like Cooper, who's coming on in a little bit, in just a short. I've seen the impact that it's made on you guys, as long as Cooper makes a left turn and not a right turn down the straightaway. So it's I think it's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time to have those guys, but it benefits you guys. I don't think it benefits those guys as much as they think it does.
Yeah.
Seat time or not, that one is just not the same. Because a clone and a Predator, totally different ball game.
It definitely is.
And I'll say you know that more than anybody, because you went straight from clone to Predator.
Yes.
So before Cooper comes on here, you and I have known each other a long time, a while. And you've been racing on and off when you can. And I have, before I ask the question, I got to say I'm impressed with how the work that you put in, and the time that you put in, the effort that you put in, and everything that you've done to try and improve. Every time you come out there, you're a little bit better than you were the last time. And not everybody can say that. So at Cooper's, he's down here ready to go. But I got one more question for you. So you just stay patient down there, buddy. When you're looking into the future, do you see yourself trying to run anything other than Predator in the next 5 years?
Really depends. I would hope that I or maybe I don't know if it'd be 5 years. Maybe jump up the clone. It just really depends. How many
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. And, I also think it's about working with the right people.
definitely is.
So you've got a good crowd around you. Just keep it up. And we're gonna get Cooper on here for a few minutes to talk with you guys. You hear me, Coop?
I can hear you.
All right. Cooper Boyd.
Hello, guys.
What's up? What's up, buddy?
Oh, just got home from work.
I got the welcome Cooper Boyd on here too, so that feels good.
I feel special. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. I knew when, I had asked Cody, and he was I think he was a little bit shocked that I asked him to come on here.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting it, but I'm happy you did.
And when I created the group text, I was like, it's got to be Cody and Cooper. You guys work together, you race together, you're friends, and I've known y'all for a while. Like, I haven't known Cooper as long as I've known Cody, but like, I know Cooper pretty well now. I think it's great that you guys race together and you're still friends, because not everybody can do that.
It takes it hard to race with somebody and you work with them, hang out with them, getting ready.
Yeah.
It takes a lot, but we do a really good job at it.
Yeah, I think there's been a couple times I remember, Cody might have been a little bit on the edgy side when you were starting out. So
Yeah.
and I gotta tell this story real quick, okay?
Alrighty.
Just real quick. So I remember the first time I remember you racing, Cooper. Cody and you were racing, and he went to pass you, and when he did, I think you thought you were clear, and you came down, and you drove Cody all the way down in the infield.
Yeah, I knocked his
And
tire
it,
off. I broke his spindle in half.
yeah, it just destroyed the whole right side of the cart.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
messed his
dude,
cart up pretty good. We had a nice
from
we had a nice chat after that one.
yeah, sometimes the chat is what you need, but from then on, I know that you guys haven't really had any incidents together. You guys have worked pretty well together. I mean, you race clean against each. I mean, you race hard, but you
Yeah.
race clean against each other, and you kind of know the boundaries. Do you think that situation kind of drew a line in the sand for you guys to know, like, okay, this is where we are right here. This is where we can't go.
To an extent, yeah. I mean, I know he's out there to win, and he knows I'm out there to win, and I'm gonna do everything that I can to try to win. But I'm also gonna be respectful in the long run because we're all out there out of pocket to have a good time. So, got to keep that line in the sand.
Yeah. What about you, Cody? What do you think?
I think it came with each other to learn how Cooper I run together most of the time. We kind of know, what you do in certain situations, so you can think ahead. In front of me, he's gonna do, or vice versa. Both of us.
Yeah, I think it was a really strong learning opportunity for Cooper being as new as he was, and for you to not freak out like I've seen some people do,
I think
was probably the best thing that you could have done for him to learn in that situation.
I think it was good that we had, we had a couple minutes that he had to wait in the infield till the race was over to cool off.
I was waiting for him to grab one of those cones right after the race, right after you cross the finish line, and be like, "All right, the race is over now."
Yeah, just hit me
You
in the
know,
head with it. I probably deserved it because yeah, I don't see
I'm
myself
pretty
doing
sure
that
it,
again.
I'm pretty sure it crossed his mind once or twice, but he kept his cool. He was pissed, but I think it worked out for the best. Like I said, it was a good learning opportunity, and you seem to benefit from it, Cooper, just as much as Cody benefited from it. From saying, you ran over me this one time. Next time you do it, I'm going to put my foot in your ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, it was
so it
something.
was like,
Long story
yeah,
short,
yeah. For him, it was like I feel like you kind of gained an ally on the track because of the way you handled it. You handled yourself well, and Cooper, like I said, it was. You don't see the situation that often where you can look at the two positives of a situation that happens and utilize both sides of it as a good thing to happen to both sides. I know you
yeah,
had to replace some stuff, and it was
yeah.
torn all to pieces, but
I, I
in
I
the
went to the
long
store
run,
to get it with him.
in the long run, it was probably for the best that it happened that soon.
I
Yeah,
agree.
So, with both of you guys running the same class and everything, but with the Capital City doing money series every Saturday night for local, do you think that things would be a little tighter between you, like a little more tense in between you guys, if it was a points battle that you guys were having to do for a whole season?
Uh, I think it probably would have went about the same.
I mean, points, but I've learned that think about what you say or before you do it. If a friend, out there racing, all trying to win race, you gotta think. Heck, I have a hard time doing it. At the end of the day, talking it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely talking through things does make it easier. Coming from the regional expert of losing his temper, I think you handled that situation pretty well. So, looking forward though to where you guys are going, for the rest of the season. Have you guys communicated about maybe saying, let's go try to run this? Predator's growing, so it's going to be at a lot of different racetracks and at a lot of different series, doing a lot of different things. Have you guys maybe gotten together and said, maybe, or Cooper brought it to your attention, I thought about running this, or Cody say, maybe I thought about running this, and you guys maybe go run a different track here and there, since there's no points at Capital City?
The only real race me and Cooper talked about, and that's not until beginning of next year. So that's a long ways away. Anything that comes up between Capital's close. It's a lot easier to try to do it. 20 minutes away from my house. If you get your stuff tore up, you home.
Yeah. So let's see. All right, we got a few more minutes, so I can ask a couple more questions.
Well, my opinion on that is I want to keep it at the home track, and I'd like to win a race there before I try to broaden my horizons. I want to make sure I got a good grasp on what I'm doing and the basics before I try to venture out and see what else is out there. I'd like to do well and win a race, and then maybe take it further. But for now, I've already committed to this, so that's to be determined until I win a race, and then who knows?
Let me give you both a piece of advice. Cody, you haven't won at Capital City yet, right?
I haven't won at any.
Okay, so Cooper, you
Not
haven't won a
yet.
race yet. Let me give you both a piece of advice. It took me 10 years to win a race at Capital City. Almost 10 years. Capital City was my biggest kryptonite. Okay? And that is for some reason, that track it's a really fun racetrack, and I don't care if you're really fast there, but it is a really hard racetrack to break through at. But once you break through, it's done for some people. Some people go on a tear, and it's hard to touch. But just a piece of advice: it is a really hard racetrack to win at. For some reason, to get that first win, I kept having. I'd be out front by a mile, and something would happen. Something would break, and I had already gotten a win. And you were probably thinking of when I got drove in the infield myself, Cody. But I had already had a win at that point. Yeah, I got my first clone win a couple weeks after that. But it's a tough track to break out at. So just a piece of advice, the main thing to think about is if you're not winning somewhere, it's okay to venture out, because if you're taking care of your equipment and you're going week to week and you're still improving, you might go down to, say, Elizabeth City down to Albemarle. You might go down there and learn something and come back to Capital City and win the next time you're out.
That's true.
Yeah, never know. You can't win if you don't race.
That's true. That is very, very true. So just think about that. The very first time I ever won at Capital City, it took a guy looking over his shoulder coming out of turn 4 and plowing the wall when I was running second for me to win a race.
Maybe Cody
He knew
will
I was
plow
coming.
on you then.
Well, you already gave him his opportunity. You took a sharp right turn down the straightaway, so I said that a while ago. But I think, just all in all, consider other racetracks, man. Like, you want to support local tracks, but Capital City is not the only local track. Elizabeth City runs local too, at Albemarle. Albemarle is a great facility, great racetrack, great staff, just like Capital City.
You got Kinley too, right?
Yeah, Kinley runs other. I don't know if they run Predator Champ or not. I'm not sure. I haven't kept track of their classes. But they're another track that you could support. I mean, there's so many different racetracks around, but don't hold yourself down to one, because if, say, Capital City has an off weekend, take that opportunity to go learn, because you might go run into a Jared Jackson down there, and somebody like Jared Jackson, I have had him on here. He's a good friend of mine. Somebody like Jared will help you out and give you the shirt off his back if you ask him.
Yeah.
And you could learn more from him in one day at Elizabeth City than you could probably learn from somebody like me at Capital City.
Never know.
You don't never know. That's right. You don't ever know.
My trailer always open.
Load them in there together and go on an off weekend or something.
Yeah.
But not to say skip Capital City racing or anything like that. Just, don't hold yourself down to saying I have to win at this racetrack, because sometimes it takes 10 years to do it.
I'm pushing 10 years.
Now,
You did win a heat race.
you did win a heat race.
You won the heat race.
I just seem to struggle at Capitol. Sometimes good, sometimes I don't even know. Where to begin with that.
So I know that it's intimidating sometimes when you're searching for that first win and the nerves get a hold of you. But the best thing you can do is just, I mean, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. So even if you're riding second, you don't know what the guy in front of you is going to do. If you're riding second, you don't know what the guy in third is going to do. You don't know what the guy in fourth is going to do. You don't know what the guy behind them is going to do. The guy in fifth could drive fourth and third all the way through you and take all three of you out.
That's
So
how
the best thing you can do,
That's
yeah, I
yeah.
know it has. I know it has.
Predator class.
The best thing you can do is just, keep your head up because you're improving. Both of you are improving. And Cooper, you've improved exponentially from the first time I watched you race. You and
Thank
Cody
you.
are right about here. And, Cody's working. He's trying to get up here now. So you got to put in some work and stay up here.
Oh yeah, it's always a race to win.
But what if there was, since we were talking about it, if there was a track that you guys were going to go run a class like Predator Champ, what track would you go to other than Capital City?
I think Albemarle would be fun.
Cody?
I don't tracks run further. No triple T that are harder than that. Too many tracks you run.
I can tell you right now, a track that I used to run at, and I haven't mentioned it on the show ever, because they have their own rule book now, is State Line Speedway. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it.
No.
It's a banked little racetrack with tires around the outside of it instead of spin-off room. It is a crazy fast racetrack. But definitely somewhere like that would be on my bucket list. So we got Triple T, you said, Cody?
Yeah.
Triple T, Elizabeth City, and State Line. And that's just within, 2.5 hours of where you guys are. Well, I don't know about 2.5, maybe 4 hours.
Adds up quick.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it does. It does add up quick. I didn't think about it, but it's a lot closer than 5 hours to 7 hours.
Yeah.
So, let's see what time
We were talking about
started
getting
a little
down
late.
to the Daytona race one of these years too, if we can get some time off work and head down there just to watch.
Yeah, I think that'd be a really good race to get to.
Yeah.
Patriot is another track that I would love to run at. I haven't run it yet. The Big O.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to run there. I want to run the Big O. But I gotta go out and win a race too at some point before somebody's gonna say, "Here, come run the Big O."
I'd imagine it's a pretty good feeling.
I would say so, but I'd have to ask Steven Adams or Austin Yarborough about that.
Yeah.
All right, so we got right at 6:40. Cody, is there anything you want to say before you get off of here? Before we talk to Cooper for a little bit?
I just want to thank you for letting me come on here. Everybody who helps me to be. Thanks for giving us a place to better. And just that's about it.
Well, I'm gonna say, cheers, my friend. This one's for Cooper. The first one was half empty, so. But this one's for Cooper, okay?
You might need it.
Cody, thanks for coming on here so much, dude. I had a good time talking to you, and hopefully we'll if that win comes before those 10 years, I'll get you back on here and we'll brag about your win a little bit, okay?
I wouldn't brag about it.
No, I'll brag about it, okay? We'll let some people toot your horn in the comments and stuff.
He wouldn't
like
brag
that.
about it on here, but I would hear about it at work a little bit.
Yeah, Cooper, how'd you like that second place finish, buddy?
That dust was good.
So anyway, thanks for coming on here, dude, so much, and I'll talk to you real soon. All right.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you got me, Coop?
I got you.
All right, so let me ask you the same thing I asked Cody.
All right.
What got you started in racing, dude?
Him.
I knew that, but you gotta go a little bit more in depth for anybody that's watching.
Actually, truly the person that got me into it first. You know who Big Will is?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my best
Will
friends for
Lowry.
sure. He took me out to the turkey trot in 2019. He said, "Bring a big jacket because it's going to be cold." And I had a bunch of friends in from Colorado, where I'm from, and we just went and stayed all night to watch all the races. And I looked at them and I said, "I just need one of these." So I talked about it for a couple weeks. Cody helped me out some, and then we found the McDaniels. Actually, that's where I bought my first cart from. So you know, just bought it and been doing this and that ever since. I
Yeah,
haven't missed a race since I said I was going to start.
Stevie and Denny are good dudes. Like I said, I mentioned about Cody earlier. Talking to Cody earlier, they let me drive their Predator Champ, so that was cool. I got to experience that. So I kind of
Yeah,
was in you guys' shoes a little bit, but
yeah.
I
I bought the first one from them, and then I bought the second one from them. So I definitely have have two of their carts right now.
well, you're definitely making strides, dude. You're doing killer on whatever you're doing. You started out, right around here where you start when you are just getting going. And then you made a
Yeah,
leap,
it
and then you
was.
made a leap. And the next thing I know, it's like, dude, Cooper is rolling. Like, what in the world is going on here? You're in the top 5 and making it look easy. Now it's
It's
about getting that nerve down and calming
yeah,
yourself and just relaxing a little bit.
yeah. It's definitely not easy. It's a lot of work throughout the week. Everybody that's listening probably already knows that. But every single day I'm out in the garage, working on this and working on that. And then I got a lot of good people helping me now. It's not on me. I got to give a lot of credit to the people that have been helping me and doing their best and just coaching me up on and off the track. So
Yeah, I think it's phenomenal to have people surrounding you that are so supportive. And you've got, and Cody, he has been a huge supporter of my racing and anybody that I've ever been around racing. And, he'll come buggy push, he'll come just talk to
yeah,
you in the pits, he'll come hang out, he'll come anything you ask him to do, he'll come and do it.
he doesn't
And
run
he
at
won't
work,
even
but he'll
hesitate.
run at the track.
Oh, dude, he'll run, pants
He'll
falling
run.
down and everything, just pushing the buggy, pants falling down, holding his pants up
Man,
if he
I
has to.
remember, I remember last, I don't know, I wreck almost every race. It feels like I slid backwards into the wall one of these races, and before I even knew what had really happened, before Cody was over the fence right behind me. I'm like, dude, did you hop that big old fence? And we just started laughing, and he pushed me up back onto the track. It was pretty funny. I don't know how he did it, but he can hop a fence somehow.
That man is a worker, dude. I'm telling you. When it comes
Yeah.
to when he says he's going to help you or when he says he's going to be there, he's going to work and he's going to be there.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Anywhere, he's a great person. I'm thankful to have met him.
Yeah, he's a great dude, and having met you through him,
Yep.
I've been again impressed with how far you've come. Not just as somebody watching you, but as a friend of yours. I think it's really awesome what you've been able to do. The again the support that you're able to use and utilize and hit some of your goals, I think. But
Yeah,
now the goal is right here.
yeah.
So
Once you start hitting those top fives pretty regularly, that 3, 2, and one's looking pretty tasty.
yeah, so what kind of work do you think you're gonna have to put in? Like, are you gonna? Do you think that feeling of that week, you're like, I put in a solid week this week. I think this week is gonna be the week, or do you think it's just gonna be one of those things where it kind of just happens when it happens, no matter how much work you put in?
Um, I always do my best to try to prepare to what I think. I ask a couple people around me that run in the bigger classes, kind of maybe what they're thinking about doing, and then I just go with a general idea and my experience at Capital. So I raced there for a year and a half now. We're about halfway through, so I take everything that I can kind of put together up here and cruise out to the garage and see if I can throw it down. I think
So
it's gonna happen. It's gonna be a lucky weekend.
I told you mine was luck.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's all you need is a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
But I think that the amount of work that you've put in, I think it'll pay off sooner than you realize too.
Yeah,
So
I mean, that's the plan.
yeah, you can only hope, right?
Yeah, it's all a lot of
Otherwise,
fun. I
hours in the
mean,
shop are starting to be harder.
yeah, there's a lot of really fast people out there that know what they're doing, and I told Ryan a couple weeks ago that I hope he knows I'm coming for him. He was a good sport about it. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, Ryan's a good dude. He's been a big help for Cody. He's a big supporter of that Predator Champ class.
Yeah, he is.
And he's had quite a few carts over there with him in the Predator Sprint class, I think.
Yeah. Well,
So
if you don't know what you're doing, follow him.
yeah, those Predator carts, I think they got those figured out pretty good, especially at Capital City.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what kind of goals, I guess, for yourself would you say you have other than winning a race? Like, do you have something in mind, like um, maybe beat this guy or check this race off my list, like a turkey trot or something like that?
Well, I want to beat everybody, but a race that I really just sucked on last year was the Cobb. I just couldn't figure it out. Um, I really would like to do a lot better for that race. That's coming up here fairly soon. So I'm really going to pay a lot of attention to that race. 30 laps, you don't realize is a lot more than 20 when you're truly sitting in the cart running in the circles. So I think that'd be the best race I could do better on.
The more you run, the better race shape you're going to be in. You don't realize
Yeah,
it, but your body's getting adjusted. So those 30 laps, it'll feel like 20 used to feel like.
man, it wears on you.
Yeah, it does.
I was definitely feeling it getting out of the cart. I felt like an old man. I had to stretch the back out for a few minutes.
I see you over there, Brian Bruce. He's in our comments. Mr. Predator VDK winner over there.
Yeah.
So I asked Cody.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I asked Cody, what would he say, what would he think about Predator Champ coming to VDKA? And I want to ask you, what would you think about that? Was that something that you would run or wait a couple years?
Why not? I'd probably hop in there, see what I can do.
That gives you that experience at other tracks that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It's a 6-race series that you're going to run at least one other track, depending on what they do for each season.
You make a good point when you say maybe you'll learn something how the cart feels maybe here or there that you can incorporate to Capital City. And I think it'd be cool to run state. Those are some fast dudes. It's pretty competitive, so I'm sure it'd be a really good time.
Yeah, I think the VDK series is a great series, and I've had my ups and downs with them, but I think they've done a great job at incorporating classes that everybody wants to run.
Yeah, they have an absurd amount of classes right now already, so it's a long day of racing for them guys out there.
They're giving the people what they want. So
yeah,
thank the racers for the amount of classes that they have.
Right. There's a little bit of everything for everybody.
Yep. If somebody wants to run, they need to come and run it. Otherwise, a class is going to go away, and a new class is going to come in its spot.
That's one thing I got to say about Capital. Not that I've really ventured out too much, but I notice a lot of people in the class. If you ask them a question, they'll genuinely talk to you, and I think that goes a long way because we're all out there to win. But at the end of the day, the Predator Champ is an entry-level class. So if you're trying to get into it, all of the guys that I've talked to and that are out there are really nice at bringing in information and seeing what they can do to help you out to be a little more competitive if you're new coming in.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a really great class. And, sometimes the bigger name guys will be glad to help out somebody that's running the Predator class because they might not be running it. So they're like, I'm not running against you. A lot of times they'll help you out anyway, but they'll say, I'll help you out, do whatever I can to help you with this class because I don't have any ties to it. My hands are up like this. So if you go out there and win, it makes me look good.
Yep. You could point a finger to say who helped you.
That guy. Yeah. So with
I got one of those.
Yeah. Big Will, you said already, right?
Yeah, Big Will, man. I got to thank him for a lot of stuff. I remember living out in Goochland. I didn't have a truck, so he put the buggy in the back of his truck and drove about an hour and a half to my house just to drop it off for me so I could see it. That was really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Will's a good dude. The couple times that I've met him and I see him around the racetrack, and I always try to speak. He's a really good dude. So
Yeah, he is. You can't miss him. Say hi to him if you see him.
Have you thought about changing classes from Predator or anything like that? Have you thought maybe there? Because let me tell you, I gave you a piece of advice earlier, but I'm gonna tell you something else. Everybody has their niche. Every driver has his niche. Not every driver is good in every single class. So you might jump in something like Animal or Clone and be way better than you are in Predator because you just drive it that style and it fits your driving style. Have you thought about driving anything else other than Predator?
Absolutely. If anybody wants to help me out with that, I'll give out my phone number to see if they want to sponsor me. Yeah, I'll race
Yeah,
anything. If I'm interested in anything and everything. I'll hop in a cart and drive it as fast as I can.
Well, I can tell you right now, just to get some experience, you can rent an animal motor for a lot cheaper than it is to buy one.
Yeah, I
A
heard
lot
that.
cheaper. So, just a suggestion. Animal
Maybe one of these
champ
nights I might get
class.
a little spunky.
Let me know if you do.
Oh, I will. You'll be the first to know.
With with thinking about other classes and thinking about I also talked about this with Cody. The tires are something that is a huge cost and a huge part of racing. That is just the absolute most important thing that you can do in racing. Have you gotten yourself in a rhythm yet? Since it's been only a year and a half, have you gotten yourself in a rhythm yet where you feel like, if somebody just gives me information on tires, I can just put it right in? Or do you feel like it's still a big learning curve right now?
I think I wouldn't say I have the best hand at it, but I got a general idea. I've noticed that the best thing you can do is give yourself options. Go out there with a couple different sets of tires and keep up with the track. Watch your lap times, see if it's speeding up or slowing down. Maybe try to go watch a few races to see how the track is acting, and then try to go work your tires accordingly, or leave them alone. That's a big deal too, is knowing when to stop. So I think I got a pretty good idea of what's going on. Punching tires, working with the air pressure, and I think most of the battle is not doing too much.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Overdoing it, overthinking it is a big thing that kills a lot of speed.
Yep.
And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people have to learn in the long run. But you haven't learned it already in a year and a half. That's a really good thing to learn already in a year and a half.
Thank you.
So, because
tires,
it took me 15 years almost to learn. Don't overdo it.
Yeah, I mean, just go with your
It's
gut.
easy.
I mean, usually I just go with my first guess. You know how it felt coming off the track. You can kind of assume what it's going to look like in maybe 2 to 3 hours, barring no crazy circumstance. So you can usually put something pretty good together.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that 100%. Have you? Well, I've already asked you about the tracks. Is there a specific race going on this season other than the Cobb race that you want to be at?
I plan to be at all of them, but I sucked at the Cobb. But another one was a turkey trot last year where I ran really good for qualifying, and just like a couple laps in, my chain popped off, and I was so frustrated because I felt really confident being that many drivers, and staying out there till 2 a.m. for your chain to pop off pissed me off pretty good. I remember being out there from, I think I got there at 5 or 5:30 a.m. and our race didn't start till I think it was like 1, just for my chain to pop off. So I'd really like to get some redemption on that.
Yeah, I think that's a good race to come out and get some redemption in. That's a big win to get if you can get your hands on it.
That would be a great feeling and a good way to end the year.
So let me ask you also, what is the thing that keeps you in racing, man? What keeps you going? What keeps you saying, I want to race? I want to, even if you're not winning a race, you just want to keep coming back.
A really big one that makes me almost tear up every time is when you take the cart off the stand and you're getting in, and my little brother Connor helps me every single race, and he's incredible. He's been my number one wingman no matter what I need, and he gives me a fist bump, tells me go do a good job, and then I got my whole family on the fence cheering me on. So nothing beats that feeling right there.
Yeah, family is important, especially at the
Yeah.
racetrack.
My mom,
But
everybody that comes to visit me randomly just to come say hi, wishes me a good race. But Connor for sure.
I try to, every time I see you, I try to come over there and at least speak. So just know that.
Unless you're
But
running
also,
around with your big old hat on.
yeah, I've got my big hat in the car. I've been preparing myself for running around some more at the racetrack.
No, I know you're prepared to run when you got your Crocs and all-wheel drive. I know you're about to take off. I'll just leave you be.
I had to get a new pair. I ran the soles right off of the other ones. It was just slick.
Man, I just got a pair. I hate those things.
Oh, Crocs are the best. Have you got any sponsors or anything for your racing?
Me, my mother, and my little brother. The people that have been helping me out incredibly, and where I got my new cart from, is the Simmons family. They've really been next level for me. They've really helped me more than I could ever even ask, fathom, thank enough for. They've sponsored me with a few things, and mainly knowledge.
Knowledge is the most important thing that you're going to find at the racetrack.
Absolutely, and
knowledge is speed.
That's another family that I cannot thank enough. I hope they're listening. I'll point it out to them.
Awesome. So we're going to get ready to get off of here. Coop, we had a little bit of a short show this week. I started a little late. I kind of wanted to be fair.
It's all good, man.
We'll get you back on here in the future. Hopefully, you and Cody both. If one of y'all wins, we'll get the other one on here too.
I was about to say that if I get it before he does, we better be right back on.
Yeah, for sure you will. I definitely will. But I've really enjoyed having you on here. Is there anything you want to say before you come off of here?
I hope that people still continue to come. If you ever come visit Capitol, if you have any questions, and you see me or my little brother, he got a big old beard. He's always hanging out with me. Ask him anything you can ask. He's knowledgeable as well. But I love seeing new people come to the track. I love helping out. I love the atmosphere. Thank you, Chris Beasley and Eddie and everybody that puts on everything they can to make that track happen. Elaine, big time. Elaine's daughter, she always steals my money from me.
Corner workers, Bailey, Chris.
Yep. Yeah. Bailey helped me get stuck a few times, so thank you. He's pointed that flag at me vigorously as well. I learn a lot from that. That's intimidating.
Yeah, I think it's and Michael or Chris being the flagman. I think they're great. They're both great flagmen.
Yeah.
I think it's a great facility at Capital City, a great crew. They have a good thing going on, and I really hope they keep it going exactly how they have it.
Yeah, I got no complaints about how they do anything there. I think they're very fair. They'll explain to you. Eddie does his talks every race, so if you have any questions, you just find him, and he's extremely nice and will answer anything as well. So if you're new, come out. I know it can be intimidating, but it's a welcoming crowd, and you'll have a blast.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Well, all right, Cooper, I'm going to let you get off of here. I got the guest announcement for next week, and I want to say thank you to you and Cody for coming on here. It was great having you guys on here. It was a lot of fun talking to you both, and we'll see you again soon, and good luck.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I was just out in the garage right before this getting stuff ready, so we'll see how Saturday goes.
All right, good luck, buddy. I'll keep an eye on you, all right?
All right, man. Thank you so much.
All right, see ya.
All right, bye.
Well, we're at the end of episode 14. It was great talking to Cody and Cooper. I love having those two guys at the racetrack. It's so much fun. They lighten up the mood. They're two really good guys to talk to. And what's up, Lee? I see you, buddy. they're really two really good guys to talk to. But it's also a lot of fun to just come to the racetrack and hang around people like that. But we'll see what they have in the future. And like I said, good luck to both of those guys. I really hope maybe they'll both win before I can get them back on. That'd be nice. We can talk about that. I think that's. Oh yeah! Thanks again to Capital City Speedway for all you guys do. I wanted to do push some local guys this week, and I think that those two were two great guys to push, Cody and Cooper. They work hard. They envision everything that you want in a local driver. So I think it's great to have those two. Elaine, I mentioned you. Eddie Moore, Bailey Moore, Buzz Moore, Kendall, Graves, Michael Mahanes, all you guys that run that track. It's great to have all of you there and support the local track. Go to Capital City if you can. If not, go to Albemarle, go to Elizabeth City, go wherever you can. Go support your local racetracks. We want to support our local racetracks, and I'll be bouncing back and forth between a couple here and there. I might have some cool stuff coming up. I got to get the date straight, whichever one, but I'll announce it on here when I come up with it. So you guys be on the lookout for that. And also, it's all right, Lee. You didn't miss nothing, dude. You can announce, or you can see who's coming on for next week. So for next week, we're gonna go with a little bit not different, but someone that I've been wanting to get on the show, and he was another winner at VDK last time at Capital City, and that is Mr. Colin Bowden. He's going to join us at 6:00 next Thursday. And thank you guys for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the comments. Everybody, Tate, you're on here every single time, and I still have yet to find who's coming on with you. I might have an idea for you, Tate. I'll send you a message. So I might have a really good idea for you, buddy. But we'll get something figured out. And yeah, follow us and like us on Facebook. We're on YouTube, podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your major podcasts, we're on there. So check that out. And then, if there's something else you guys want to see, somewhere you want to see the podcast that you use yourself, all you got to do is ask. All you got to do is tell me. But I don't know because I'm not a mind reader. So people asked for podcasts. I gave you guys podcasts. I hope you guys enjoyed the show so much because, I've really enjoyed it. And we're going to be back next week for some more fun with Mr. Colin Bowden. And we'll see you on Monday for our second guest announcement. So see you guys there.